I'm Cameron, I am 17 years old, and I go to Northwest High School.
My name is Ava, I am 15, I use she, her pronouns, and I go to Grimsley.
My name is Evan, I'm 17 years old and I go to Grimsley High School.
My name is Gia, I also go by Judy. I'm 16 years old and I go to Northwest High School.
My name is Nick, I use he, they pronouns. I'm 17 and I go to Southwest High School.
I'm Raven, I am 17, I use the pronouns she, her, hers, and I go to the Burlington School.
What are some stereotypes that exist for young people that want to engage in social justice?
As I think about my senior process and applying to different schools, every time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a part of NCCJ and I did this, it's like, oh, you're just doing that for your college resume, and I'm like, no. I actually do care about these issues, and advocating for different things that you believe in, I think, is a really core part of your own belief system and who you are. So I think just pushing it aside and just you're just doing it for the looks of it is just kind of, it hurts sometimes.
I think people also would say that you're part of a trend or bandwagon, just going along with what other people do.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of teens are also accused of just being angry whenever they want to keep up with social justice issues. It's more of oh, you're just angry because you're a teen, so you want to be mad at something else, so you're going to pick social justice issues.
Sometimes I feel like I have to soften my message just so it can get across, and I think that it sometimes creates a problem and where you're not really getting the message you wanted to get across and you're only doing part of it, when you really have this whole big painting but you only have this one little stroke that people just can handle.
We have opinions as well, but we're not really heard, and I think that's kind of sad that we never get to have a say in the community.
I feel like they always preach to us, they're like, oh, by the way, here's all the problems in the world, but then when you want to fix them, they're like, shut up. And it's it's the whole competing between trying to influence others, but they don't want to be influenced themselves, but they need you to influence the world. So
If you could start the world from scratch, what would your ideal community look like? How would people interact with one another?
I would say that it's one that's based on tolerance and respect and kind of just talking to each other, like you said, so people can understand different positions.
I think that disagreements on things and having different opinions is important to a growing community, but I feel like things would be a lot better if people didn't have to have fear for what they say or have fear because of the way they identify or how they look. I think that would be the start to making an ideal community.
Like with Anytown, when you're given that amount of time to talk with each other, spend time with each other, then you're able to form good relationships that last a while.
For me, it would involve lots of open and constructive conversations between people, just talking about our beliefs and what we're going through, the problems we see, and how we can fix it and how we can make it better.
How has NCCJ helped inspire you to think that a community like this could be possible?
Anytown, it was really people from all over the place, and we were able to have conversations and people learned something, and so that showed me that no matter your background, you can learn, you can change, and you can have a helpful conversation.
It gave me the confidence that although it might not be in the eyes of other people normal, it's still possible and it can still happen. And so Anytown definitely gave me the confidence. I love meeting different people from everywhere and having that community where we all share this interest in changing things for the better. I'm actually creating a GSA at my school, and Nick is helping me out with that. We were just having a conversation about how that's going.
What was it about Anytown or STARR that made all of those things possible?
I feel like once you open up to people, it's easier to be with them afterwards if you're not keeping hidden feelings and everything's not bottled up. I think a lot of people at Anytown really showed their truest self, and so they feel really comfortable with the people they met there.
I just noticed that, okay, you can openly talk to everybody. You don't just need to talk to your friends. You don't just need to talk to people that you usually click well with. You can talk to everybody, and everyone can have an understanding of one another. Ever since Anytown, I talk to people that I usually wouldn't talk to, and I love that.
Having an open space to talk about like more sensitive topics, I guess you could say, outside of school or with like outside of family. Here I think it's more open and we know what we want to do and we have like an open goal as well. And I think just talking to you guys and learning more together as a team helped me like get to know you guys, have fun, and like meet more people, and I think that was great.
What has been your favorite part about going to Anytown or STARR or simply being an NCCJ ambassador?
I felt like Anytown was great because I was really eager to continue the mission that NCCJ does through these programs. And that was like a week-long thing with no phone. We were like kind of isolated on a mountain, and we could talk about all this stuff. So it was a great experience.
Like you said, during quarantine, I really kind of like isolated a lot from my friends. I hadn't talked to people in like 2 years. So then being able to go to Anytown and have these important conversations, but also make really great friends was just a really good experience.
I think the community that you get to be a part of after any of the programs has been the best part, whether it's the ambassadors or going to Anytown. The people are just so amazing and everyone's open and you're not afraid to share anything or like be who you really are. I think that's really the best part about it.
Through Anytown, I was really able to see that open and respectful conversation through lots of different people. It was also a really good experience for me being like out in a public setting as a trans guy and like realizing that like this is possible for me, like it's going to be okay and we're going to get through it. And there's people out there who might not understand it, but they're still willing to like support me and to learn and to grow.
Sometimes I don't know if a community free of bias is possible.
It can be overwhelming to think about.
But if people try to understand each other and have real conversations, I think we can get there.
Think about your ideal community.
Where we could all be ourselves.
Free of bias, bigotry, and racism.
We all deserve that. But to make it happen, we need us all working together. Help us turn our ideal community into reality.
Hi, Raven.
Hi, Nick. What's up?